Welcome to your ultimate pit stop, Piston Pundit, where we fuel your automotive passion with the latest industry news. In this episode, we're shifting gears to bring you 6 pivotal updates that are driving the automotive world. From Elon Musk's staggering Tesla pay package to Ford's shift in EV dealership strategy, from EU's tariffs on Chinese EVs to GM's share buyback, from Waymo's software recall post-crash to the rise of K-trucks, we've got it all under the hood. So fasten your seatbelts as we steer you through the intricate lanes of these significant updates. Ready to roll? Number 6. Musk's $56 billion Mammoth pay package gets Tesla shareholder nod. Tesla shareholders have given a resounding nod to CEO Elon Musk's $56 billion pay package, underscoring the strong support he enjoys from the company's retail investor base. Despite opposition from some institutional investors and proxy firms, the proposal passed, reinforcing Musk's leadership and incentivizing him to maintain his focus on Tesla, his primary wealth source. However, this approval doesn't resolve a lawsuit in a Delaware court over the pay package, which some legal experts believe could drag on for months. The judge had invalidated the pay package earlier this year, describing it as unfathomable. Musk may also face fresh lawsuits on the package, which would be the largest in U.S. corporate history. Shareholders also approved a proposal to move the company's legal home to Texas from Delaware, and passed proposals favoring shorter board terms and lower voting requirements for proposals. However, Tesla's share price has dropped about 55% from its 2021 peak, as EV sales have slowed, and Musk's attention has been divided among the 6 firms he now runs or owns, including SpaceX, social media giant X, and AI firm XAI. Number 5. Ford reverses course on EV dealership program. Ford Motor is putting the brakes on its controversial electric vehicle dealership program that initially required store owners to invest upward of $1 million to sell EVs. The EV-certified program, announced in September 2022 by Ford CEO Jim Farley, was born out of high demand for EVs and industry-wide optimism. However, the expected growth in EV sales has not materialized as anticipated. Marin Jaja, Chief Operating Officer of Ford's Model E electric vehicle business, acknowledged the changing landscape, stating, "The world has changed. The growth has slowed down." Consequently, Ford is sunsetting the Model E dealership program, which had included about half of Ford's 2,800 U.S. dealers. Moving forward, Ford will open EV sales to all of its dealers in a bid to boost sales of its all-electric cars and trucks. Dealers will still need to make some investments for charging, training, and other EV-related expenses, but these will be significantly less than under the previous program. Jaja noted that dealers who participated in the full program invested about $600,000 on average, lower than the initial estimates. Number 4. EU raises the stakes with hefty tariffs on Chinese EVs. The European Union, EU, has announced higher tariffs on Chinese electric vehicle imports, citing unfair subsidies that pose an economic threat to European EV manufacturers. The EU Commission has concluded that China's battery electric vehicle value chain benefits from unfair subsidization, leading to the imposition of provisional countervailing duties on BEV imports from China. The tariffs, a result of an EU probe that began in October, are currently provisional but will be introduced from July 4th if talks with Chinese authorities fail to reach a resolution. The EU is imposing a 38.1% tariff on BEV producers who did not cooperate with its investigation, and a lower 21% duty on car makers in China who complied but have not been sampled. In response to the EU announcement, NIO pledged an unwavering commitment to the EV market, opposing the use of increased tariffs as a strategy to obstruct the normal global trade of electric vehicles. The announcement comes after months of debate among EU countries on whether to increase tariffs, with France advocating for higher duties and Germany warning of a potential trade war. Before we delve deeper, do us a favor and smash that like and subscribe button. This helps us reach more auto enthusiasts just like you. Now let's shift gears and steer towards our next point. Number 3. GM board Greenlights $6 billion share buyback authorization. General Motors, GM, has announced a new $6 billion stock repurchase authorization approved by its board. This comes as an accelerated $10 billion share repurchase program, announced in November 2023, is expected to be completed by the end of this month. GM CFO Paul Jacobson emphasized the company's focus on the profitability of their internal combustion engine business and their growing EV business. The new authorization will allow GM to repurchase shares opportunistically after the completion of the existing reauthorization. The announcement comes amid uncertainty surrounding the adoption of all-electric vehicles, a sector GM has heavily invested in, and a slowdown in customer demand for new vehicles. Despite these challenges, Jacobson highlighted the strong revenue growth, margins, and free cash flow resulting from GM's investments in its brands and product portfolio over the last several years. Number 2. Waymo pulls back software after Robotaxi collision. Waymo, the autonomous taxi company, has voluntarily recalled software across its entire fleet of 672 self-driving vehicles. This decision comes in response to a safety recall report issued by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration. On May 21st, a Waymo vehicle in Phoenix collided with a utility pole during a low-speed pullover maneuver. The vehicle was unoccupied at the time, and no injuries were reported, only damage to the car. The report highlighted a potential issue with the defective software in situations where a pole-like object was present, but there was no hard road edge between the pole and the drivable surface. Waymo estimated that 100% of its cars had the defect that caused the crash, leading to the decision to recall the software in all its cars. Waymo has control over all its vehicles and has issued updates to rectify the issue across its entire fleet. Number 1. K-trucks gain traction as a compact, affordable alternative. As American trucks continue to grow in size and price, demand has surged for a smaller, cheaper alternative from Japan, K-trucks. Despite being street legal in just 19 states, K-trucks have developed a cult-like following in recent years. These Japanese-made trucks, small enough to belong to the K-Jidosha class of light vehicles, have attracted small business owners who see them as a more affordable and sometimes better alternative to the pricier new trucks typically found on American roads. K-truck exports from Japan to the US have more than tripled in the last 5 years. Demand for smaller American-made trucks, such as the Ford Maverick and the Hyundai Santa Cruz, has also risen. However, the small size of these vehicles has raised crash safety concerns, leading several states to impose restrictions on them. Most recently, Rhode Island State Senator Louis P. DePalma proposed legislation that would prevent the registration of additional K-trucks in the future while grandfathering in current ones. Despite these challenges, the popularity of K-trucks is expected to rise as cars and trucks continue to get more expensive. That's all for this episode of Piston Pundit. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. See you on the next ride.